Good morning. It's April 27th, Monday, April 27th, and here we are on the 7th week since school was let out. This is chapters 5 through 8 of Catcher in the Rye. So when chapter 4 let off, Holden was upset that Stradlater was going on a date with his neighbor Jane Gallagher. Obviously he likes Jane Gallagher. He doesn't say that, but that's kind of clear that he likes her. So chapter 5 starts off with Holden deciding to write the essay that Stradlater asks him to write, and he writes a descriptive essay about a baseball mitt instead of a room, which is what Stradlater suggests that he write about. And the baseball mitt is super important because we find out that it was his brother Allie's mitt, Holden's brother Allie, who passed away from leukemia. And the mitt is important because Allie would write poems on the fingers and the different parts of the mitt in green ink, so that when he was out in the outfield and he was waiting for the batter or whatever, there was some downtime, he had something to do, he had something to read. And we find out a little bit about Allie, that everyone loved Allie, that he was a great kid, really nice kid, happy. Everybody who met him loved him. So kind of what we can take from that is that Holden feels like the good brother was the one who died, and that he is the one who was left, and he wasn't as good as his brother. He wasn't as kind. He wasn't as funny. He wasn't as likable as Allie. And we just get a little bit about Allie right here. We'll get a little bit more throughout the book. And the other important thing, sorry, I'm looking down at my notes. The other important thing is that his parents want to send him to a psychoanalyst, I think is what it says, so a psychiatrist. And the reason this is after Allie dies, and because his response is that he breaks every window in their garage as a response to his brother's death. So clearly very affected by the death, maybe not outwardly like saying that he's affected, but his actions show that he's affected by his brother Allie's death. And this is the manifestation of his grief, that he's breaking all these windows. And chapter 6, Stradlater comes home and finds out that Holden has written the essay for him, but he didn't write the essay that Stradlater wants. And so he's mad, and he basically says, you never do what you're supposed to do. This is typical Holden. You're always doing the wrong thing. So Holden's sad because, of course, he put everything into writing this descriptive essay about his brother's mitt. And so they fight. And Holden gets beaten up pretty handily. He's bloody. He's definitely not the winner in this situation. Because remember, Holden is very tall, but as he says, he's very weak, and Stradlater's kind of a big guy. And so he goes to Ackley's room, and remember, we've already met Ackley. Holden does not like Ackley on many levels. So the fact that he goes to Ackley's room really shows kind of how desperate he is for some kind of help, some kind of connection, human connection, some kind of consolation to what just happened. I mean, he's upset, and he's a kid too. And of course, no parents either. And I think for you guys and for me, I didn't go to a boarding school. I went away to college, but at that point, you're 18 already. It's very different. I just think it's a very interesting thing to go through high school and maybe even younger, not living with your parents, not having that kind of constant support of your parents. And so he feels very lonely and very isolated, Holden does. So he goes to Ackley's room, and of course Ackley doesn't want him in there, wants to sleep, keeps saying, go, basically, leave. Holden says, can I sleep here? He's like, no, my roommate might come back. He's like, what? He's not coming back tonight. And so he tries to sleep there, but all he can think about is Jane and Stradlater in the back of the car. that Stradlater borrowed. So he just can't. He can't sleep. He can't focus. He can't sleep. So he gets up and decides that he's done. That even though he wasn't supposed to leave this early, he's going to leave Pensy Prep early, and he's going to go to New York, and he's going to find a cheap hotel and hang out there until it's time for him to go home. And so that's what he does. And in chapter 8, he packs up and goes to the train station. And then chapter 8 is kind of an interesting chapter. He's on the train with a woman, and we find out that her name is Mrs. Morrow. We find out that she is a mother to a student, Ernest, or he calls him Ernie, at Pensy Prep, whom Holden does know. And so they have this conversation, and he likes Mrs. Morrow. She's attractive, she's nice, he enjoys her company, he likes her. And so he just keeps talking, just talk. But the interesting thing is, most of the things that come out of his mouth are complete lies. He's just like, whatever. And we already know, he's already told us that he's a habitual liar, and there's really no purpose. He just does it. And one of the things he lies about is her son. So she says, oh, you must know my son, Ernest. He goes to Pensy Prep. He's like, yeah, he's a great guy. And then, of course, we learn, because this is from Holden's point of view, he's not a great guy. He's like the biggest jerk at the school. He's a bully, and he kind of goes into some detail about that. And he kind of goes back and forth and tells her like these fantastical lies about her son, and about their friendship, and about Pensy Prep, and how everybody just loves her son, and he's just such a good guy, and that he just needs to like put himself out there more. Ernest needs to, so that he can truly fulfill his potential. Just complete lies, but she loves it. She's just lapping it up because she's the mom, of course, and she's like, oh, this is so great. You're telling me such wonderful things about my son. So it's nice. It's a nice conversation. Holden is lying to her, but it's nice lies, I guess. But why does he do it? He's totally lonely. He has no one to talk to, and the fact that she's a kind of a mother figure too, makes him feel comfortable and kind of calms him down from everything that's been happening. The fight with Stradlater, being kicked out of school. Now he's left Pensy Prep, and nobody knows even where he is. His parents don't know. They think he's still at Pensy Prep. Pensy Prep thinks that he's still there. So it calms him down. And at the end of chapter 8, he says that he wouldn't be friends with Ernie Morrow even if he was totally desperate. And the interesting thing is, we kind of think he probably is totally desperate, right? And that's kind of why he goes in and talks to Ackley too, because at the beginning we know he doesn't like Ackley, but yet he turns to Ackley after the fight with Stradlater. So it's just kind of a reminder that even that he kind of talks big, but he is desperate. He does need some kind of human contact. He does need a friend. He's looking for something, for some help. Okay, so that's chapters 5 through 8, and so I'll do a video next week for the next block of chapters. If you have questions, post them on this thread where I post the video, because a lot of people will have the same questions, and it's helpful if we can kind of share the answers with everyone. I hope you guys have a good week. Bye.